Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Kai Taylor, Jen's Austin Astrup, has warned Drew Kane, Cameron Matheson, that Curtis Ashford, Donald Turner, is looking for Jacinda, Paige Herschel, and he is planning to pay her to lie, and said that Drew took the ketamine on his own. Now that Drew has this information, he could put a stop to Curtis' plan before it starts. Drew may have some quick maneuvering to do before Jacinda is found. Curtis hired Felicia Scorpio, Christina Wagner, to find Jacinda. Last we heard, Felicia was close to finding her, but she has yet to be successful. Drew is not aware that Curtis hired Felicia to find Jacinda, but he knows that Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watros, might be able to track her down before Curtis does. After the press conference where he was decimated, Drew cannot allow himself to get more bad publicity. He needs to put a stop to Curtis' plan before it starts. He would have to manipulate Nina into giving him Jacinda's whereabouts. Nina may not know exactly where Jacinda is, but she knows that she is somewhere in the Australian outback. Drew could hire someone in Australia to find Jacinda and offer to pay her more money to get her out of Australia and head off to an unknown destination where she can never be found. After Drew's investigator finds her, Jacinda could decide to take Drew's offer for more money and head out of Australia. Felicia could be hot on Jacinda's tail at this point, and she could stumble upon her whereabouts. Luckily for Drew, Felicia could just miss Jacinda, and she is gone as Felicia arrives. Felicia would be very frustrated that she has just missed her. However, now Drew could have successfully gotten Jacinda out of the picture before Curtis can start his plan to discredit Drew. Jacinda could disappear for good, so Curtis' plan to make Drew look guilty to save his wife, Dr. Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr, from Drew's blackmail, would have gone awry. Curtis could find another way to stop Drew, but Drew could outsmart him this time since Kai has filled him in. Drew has stopped Curtis dead in his tracks, and now he can focus on restoring his reputation and his wedding to Willow Tate, Caitlin McMullen, and their upcoming wedding. What do you think? Do you think that Drew will find Jacinda before Felicia does? Will Drew pay Jacinda to get out of sight? Will Drew stop Curtis' plan before it starts? Port Charles just got a dose of unexpected drama as Drew Kane put the brakes on Curtis Ashford's latest scheme involving newcomer Jacinda. In a shocking twist that no one saw coming, Drew, the ever-loyal friend and ex-Navy SEAL, stepped up to stop what could have been one of Curtis' most reckless and morally questionable plans yet. The move sets off a ripple effect across town, stirring up suspicions, breaking bonds, and igniting tensions between friends who've been through war zones and mob wars together. Now fans are left asking, what was Curtis thinking, and why did Jacinda's name push Drew over the edge? Curtis had been growing increasingly desperate in recent weeks, ever since his paralysis and the upheaval in his personal life. The once confident pie-turned-club owner has been looking for purpose again, and that purpose seemed to come in the form of Jacinda, a savvy, enigmatic woman who recently arrived in Port Charles under mysterious circumstances. Curtis, intrigued by her connections and seemingly untapped potential, devised a scheme to partner with her on what he called a legacy-building opportunity. But not everyone believed his motives were pure, and Drew, having seen behind the curtain of too many shady operations, smelled trouble the minute Jacinda entered the scene. Sources inside Port Charles say that Jacinda had offered Curtis a way back into the world of high-stakes influence, using her international business ties and an ambiguous private fund that reportedly skirted legal boundaries. While Curtis insisted it was a clean deal designed to bring wealth and empowerment to the community, Drew saw it for what it really was, an elaborate hustle that could land Curtis in prison or worse. What made Drew act so forcefully wasn't just the potential risk, it was personal. He felt Curtis was being manipulated, and Jacinda's interest wasn't rooted in empowerment. It was exploitation. The confrontation between the two men reportedly took place at the Savoy, after hours, when Curtis laid out his final pitch and asked Drew to come on board as an investor. But Drew had done his homework. Before Curtis could finish, Drew revealed he'd uncovered information linking Jacinda's fund to several shell companies under investigation in Europe. He warned Curtis that aligning with Jacinda would be like stepping into a minefield. And this time, there wouldn't be a quick escape. The look on Curtis' face said it all. The fallout from Drew's bold intervention is already being felt. Curtis is livid, accusing Drew of sabotaging an opportunity out of pride or jealousy. But deep down, Curtis may know Drew saved him from something much darker. Drew, for his part, doesn't regret a thing. He's standing firm, saying he'd do it again, if it meant protecting someone he cares about. He's also warned Jacinda to stay away from Curtis and Port Charles, unless she wants her secrets aired in public. And that brings us to the question everyone's asking. Who is Jacinda really? Her backstory is murky at best. She claims to be a financier with a background in startup investments. But Drew uncovered aliases tied to her in Dubai, Singapore, and even a remote corner of South America. There are whispers that she's not just a businesswoman, but a professional con artist who attaches herself to powerful men under the guise of networking, and then leaves them bankrupt or in legal peril. If that's true, Curtis just dodged a bullet, and Drew may have just saved his life. But Jacinda isn't going quietly. Sources say she's furious about Drew's interference and has vowed to bring him down. Whether that means legal action, personal sabotage, or exposing Drew's own skeletons remains to be seen. And Drew, who's been trying to turn over a new leaf and stay above the fray, might now be forced back into the dirt to defend himself and those around him. He's already put Jason on alert, and Carly is keeping her distance, sensing that the storm isn't over yet. As for Curtis, he's at a crossroads. His pride has taken a hit, and he's questioning not only his business sense, but his judgment of character. The man who once saw himself as a beacon of integrity now finds himself tempted by shadows, and not for the first time. Whether he can forgive Drew or himself is a question only time will answer. Portia, meanwhile, has stepped in with some hard truths of her own. She warned Curtis that his drive to reinvent himself post-injury might be clouding his ability to see clearly. She applauded Drew for stepping in, but told Curtis that if he ever wants to rebuild trust with his family, he has to stop chasing shortcuts to glory. That conversation didn't go down easily. Curtis accused her of piling on while he's at his lowest, but Portia stood her ground. She's not willing to let him spiral without saying her piece, and if it costs her their relationship, so be it. Then there's Trina. While her focus remains on her studies and Spencer, she's aware that something big went down between her stepfather and Drew. And she's quietly watching how Curtis handles the aftermath. Trina's admiration for Curtis has wavered before, especially during the Jordan and Portia triangle drama. But this time, her disappointment is different. It's not about betrayal in love. It's about character, and whether Curtis is still the man she once saw as a hero. Elsewhere in Port Charles, the dominoes are falling. Valentine Cassadine reportedly took notice of Jacinda's arrival weeks ago and had her background checked as a precaution. His reports align with Drew's findings. Anna Devane is now rumored to be opening an official investigation into Jacinda's affiliations, especially after learning that one of her shell corporations may have indirectly funded an arms deal abroad. With the USB still on her radar, Anna isn't taking chances, and neither is Laura, who's begun whispering warnings to city leaders about being careful with newcomers promising gold. Sonny Corinthos, too, has his eye on the situation, while Jacinda hasn't crossed paths with the mob boss. Yet, he doesn't like anyone stirring up trouble in his territory, especially someone slick enough to fool Curtis Ashford. And if Jacinda turns out to be a threat to Drew or Carly, Sonny won't hesitate to act. Back at the Savoy, Curtis has gone quiet. He's cancelled several meetings and reportedly told his assistant to clear the week. Rumor has it he's contemplating shutting down the club temporarily to regroup. But that might only hurt him further. The Savoy is his anchor, and walking away now might send the wrong message to his enemies and to himself. Drew, meanwhile, isn't resting easy. Though he won this round, he knows Port Charles is never safe for long. He's bracing for Jacinda's next move and has already begun discreetly working with Sam to uncover more about the mysterious woman's global operations. If there's more dirt to find, Drew's determined to dig it up and use it to keep everyone he loves safe. But Jacinda may be more dangerous than anyone realizes. Some believe she has ties to figures far more powerful than even Valentine or Sonny. If true, then stopping her won't be a one-man job. And with Jason back in the fold, there's growing speculation that this could be the start of a new alliance between Drew, Jason, and Anna. A powerhouse trio working behind the scenes to keep Port Charles from falling into the wrong hands. As fans wait for the next episode, social media is ablaze with theories. Some think Jacinda is tied to the original EL Key scandal from years ago. Others believe she's working for Pikeman or even a rogue WSB faction. Whatever her agenda is, one thing is clear. She came to Port Charles with a plan, and Drew Kane just blew it up. But at what cost? Because in a town where loyalty and legacy often clash, standing up for what's right can make you a hero or a target. And as Jacinda licks her wounds and recalibrates her strategy, Drew may find himself in the crosshairs of a woman who doesn't take rejection well. Curtis, left to pick up the pieces, must now decide who he is without the deals, without the schemes, and without the distractions. Will he come out stronger, or will this latest failure send him spiraling into a new identity crisis? One thing is certain, nothing in Port Charles stays buried for long. And Jacinda's secrets, Curtis' missteps, and Drew's interference may have just set the stage for the next explosive chapter in a town where danger hides behind every charming smile. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our YouTube channel for more update news.